Testing this one, testing. Testing microphone 2.
how the light comes in. I cannot tell you how the light comes in. What I know is that it's more ancient than imagining, that it travels across an astounding expanse to reach us, that it loves searching out what is hidden, what is lost, what is forgotten or in peril or in pain, that it has a fondness for the body, for finding its way toward flesh, for tracing the edges of form, for shining forth through the eye, the hand, the heart. I cannot tell you how the light comes, but that it does, that it will, that it works its way into the deepest dark, that it enfolds you, though it may seem long ages in coming, and arrives in a shape you did not foresee. And so, may we this day turn ourselves toward it. May we lift our faces and let it find us. May we bend our bodies to follow the arc it makes. May we open and open more and open still to the blessed light that comes. Please rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn.
You all know this one. We sang it last Sunday, so we'll start out with the breathe in, and then I'll continue with the verses. If you want to sing breathe, you can choose whichever part you want to sing, but you got it. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Take it back to breathe. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, good, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love.
I heard somebody take a deep breath. Let's all do that together again. That felt good for me. My name is Reverend Chris Long, your minister of congregational life. My pronouns of choice are he, him, his. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Church of Baton Rouge. If you are visiting us for the very first time, we are glad you are here. Today is a special day in the worship life of this church. Special in that we are welcoming 8 new members that have joined us since January's service of new members. Whoop, whoop. All right. Again, thank you for joining us for worship today. Please do come again and again and again to see if this may become your sacred community of hope. And do join us, members and friends, in the kitchen area for refreshments and coffee after the service. To those joining us on live stream, good morning to you and welcome. If you've been joining us online and maybe considering membership, we would like to know that you're an online member. So maybe if you're thinking about it, drop us a note in the chat box, and maybe we can follow up with you to see if there's a way we can coordinate doing some 21st century kind of membership. Is that okay? 21st member, anybody here for it? 21st century membership? Okay. Can I get an amen this early? Amen. And thanks for being here. Up on the chancel today, we have our worship associates, plural. We have Canova Smith and Annabelle, who's joining us. Let's give it up for Annabelle for doing our ringing of the bell. We have our music director, Lee Hartman, who has returned from today from well-deserved time away. Is it okay if I share? Yellowstone, can somebody say Yellowstone? And some other, what's the other fancy place? Grand Tetons. Who here's been? Okay, I've never been, but I guess I'm going to at some point. And we have Grace Nicole Anderson, who is our hymn leader for today. Let's give it up. And then in our treehouse that's keeping us all on task and sounding beautiful is Mike Patton up in our sound, who's assisting with audio. A few of us had a chance to go to provide volunteer services at the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank yesterday. If you had a chance, raise your hand. We have a few folks that are raising their hands, our first time back since the pandemic. I see y'all, all right. We're volunteering again for the first time since the pandemic. I wasn't able to be there because I was invited to attend the 11th annual Parkinson's Conference that's put on every year for the last 11 years. A conference that is bringing up-to-date information. One of the ways I was invited to attend was we memorialized Carol Harrison this early summer in May, and the executive director invited me, along with members of the family, to come and watch as they did a beautiful tribute to Carol that had UU stuff all over it, so I'm gonna see if I can get that slideshow. And we have members of the church who are also engaged in being, one of the phrases I learned yesterday was care partners, rather than caregivers, that care partners, the people that are taking care of each other with Parkinson's, and I have literally 2.5 pounds of resources to share with folks regarding what is being done and some innovative stuff as Parkinson's is a reality for so many people and families. Next Sunday, our worship guild will be leading its annual service, which includes voices of several members, some of whom I see in the congregation today, who will be sharing why I'm a Unitarian Universalist. So please do plan to be here, and they move through that question of why. The following Sunday, July 30th, our very own Treehouse volunteer and part of the Preacher Pack, Mike Patton, will be leading a service with the title of The Problem with Job. Intrigued? Okay, we'll see you. We'll see you on the 30th for that service. August 6th, we will have our annual in-gathering service. We'll be welcoming back many of our summer vacationers and those who just take a break sometimes. They'll be welcoming back that day. And we'll also be having our Blessing the Backpacks ritual, where we'll do blessings on getting people who are ready for school, a new job, bring your backpack, and we have the usual token that Kathy has ordered that will be shared on that day. August 13th, who knows what's happening here August 13th? What? Gospel service? Is that what all we get is gospel service? Gospel service, and who's going to be coming back to lead the gospel service? Marie Flowers. As some of you may know, can we turn it down just a little bit, Mike, the mic? Marie Flowers, who has just literally moved this weekend to Atlanta, will be returning just to coordinate that service. She got a grand offer for continued employment in Atlanta, and it called to her. And the focus of that will be music around celebrating the 70th anniversary of the Baton Rouge bus boycott. Please do join us. There's a list of songs, there's some video, and we're working out what the flow of that will be. So please do come, and online, we look forward to having you for that service. Do y'all want to hear all the way out to September yet? Yes? Reverend Nathan officially returns from sabbatical on September 8th. And his first time back in the pulpit will be September 10th. And, let's get a drum roll for the and. September 16th, the stewardship team is planning a welcome back party. Woo! After the LSU away football game. later that day. So the times will be 5 to 8 p.m. Please mark your calendars so we can have a grand event inviting everybody, your friends, your cousins who may want to come. As always, there'll be food, and I hear there's music. Anybody interested? Again, good morning and welcome. We are glad you are here. The sharing of stones ritual here at the Unitarian Church of Baton Rouge is a time in our service where we take pause to come forth to share stones as we honor the joys and sorrows of our lives with this community. Visitors are always welcome to take part in this ritual. This week and every week, I saw people coming in signing the cards as they're entering the sanctuary this morning. There are cards to be signed that are on our congregational care team table that's just out in the kitchen. Today, we have 2 condolences. First, we want to send a card and our many blessings for the passing of Art Scarborough's wife, Kathy. She passed away last Sunday. The family will be holding a celebration of life service next Saturday, July 22nd, at 11 a.m. at the Burden Conference Center. That's at 4560 Essence Lane, with an informal fellowship and remembrance to follow at 2365 Oleander Street. Did I get that correct? Oleander? Is there a New Orleans or Baton Rouge spelling? Oleander Street. Please do try to attend if you can. I'll be going at 11 o'clock. Next, we send our condolences to Ms. Mija, Bobby Thompson, and family on the recent passing of Ms. Mija's father, Sterling Lewis Sr. We also have cards to sign for member Ed Benoit as he begins another round of chemotherapy. We send our continued healing thoughts also to Peggy Hunt, who's recovering from hip surgery. And lastly, we have a card to wish Vicki Crandall all the best as she continues towards better healing. Those who would like to take part in this ritual, please come forth, lining up along the east and west walls of the sanctuary. Our sharing of stones ritual begins. Let us say together our chalice lighting words. With hope to make this a better world, we light this flame. Its light is a symbol of the power of love.
From all that dwell below the skies, let songs of hope and faith arise. Let peace, goodwill on earth be sung, through every land, by every tongue.
Thank you. Anyone here have a really, really good week? Okay, there's only a few. Okay, a few handshakes in the back. What about this past week? Anyone have a really not so good week this week? You get to raise your hand. Okay, so I saw some maybe it was not so good, but that's okay. Who here had just a normal week? Any normal? Lots of normal weeks. That's okay too, right? All of it, friends. I hope we know that all of it is welcome here. Amen? Each week when we gather, we take pause to breathe as a sacred community held by our values, our commitments to each other, and to dance into the joys and struggles of life. We do this through collective silence, meditation, or prayer, through the spirit of life. This morning's prayer: Spirit of life, universe, Gaia, God. Let us take pause in our service to honor the Homa and the Bayagula peoples, indigenous communities whose lands we now inhabit. May we do the work necessary to be in deeper, right relationship with those still here from these communities. I would like to welcome into this space our individual, collective ancestors, some of them brand new, who made us all possible. Extra thoughts and prayers to some members and friends of the church who are going through health issues, the passing of a loved one, or who are settled with mental health and wellness matters that need our ongoing care. As we continue to get the news that we are having the hottest weeks ever recorded since records have been taken, may we do the necessary work to care for ourselves and to reach out through phone calls, visits, to those we know who are more vulnerable to heat exhaustion or heat stroke even, to support them during this time. For we know we still have weeks to go before the temperatures are due to subside. And how do we even talk about what is taking place yet again in our state legislature? They are coming back into session simply to override the vetoes of bills, all but criminalizing our transgender youth and their families, and the possibilities that saying gay in our schools can become a crime. How might or will we respond? I pray for courage to continue to rise up in our values and religious beliefs, that all are worthy and all deserve to be treated with respect, human decency, and dignity now. Ashe. Shalom, blessed be, salam, may it be so, and amen.
Good morning. Great to see all of your beautiful faces. I don't know why they asked me to teach this, but I will do my best. So this song is called Siyahamba, and a little bit of history, just to keep it simple. It's Zulu, comes from the Zulu people, and it basically translates as walking in light or marching in light. And I don't know about you, but light is very important to me, especially with this. I mean, literal light, like sunlight. That's why I'm about 3 to 4 shades darker than I usually am, because it's like I crave being in it now, because it is the source of everything that we have here. And for me, it is the connection to the divine. And having said that, thinking about my ancestors, my people, during very difficult times, this song probably was a source of hope. So for me, that is a big and deep connection. You don't have to be a member of my ancestry to need hope in this world. I think about this church and how we are the people that show up. We say it's the church that shows up, but the church is made of people. The church is the institution. It's the people, us, that actually show up. And so I'm not going to belabor with the time, but I had to get that out and just let you all know how grateful I am to be a part of this church and all of you amazing people. And I'm seeing some visitors come back. I'm not going to call anybody out, but I've been thinking about you heavily, and it is so good to see you. Hopefully, it means you've enjoyed yourself and we're doing something right, and we are living this thing that we say that we're living. So, having said all of that, thank you. Siya hamba. So, really simple, don't overthink it. So I'm gonna take it word by word. I mean, we just have to say that twice and then we move on to the English. You all always sing so beautifully. You pick up on things like that, so I know you're gonna have no problem doing this. So, see ya, literally like see you later. Pretty self-explanatory, I think, right? So the next word, bay. Think about hamburger, but without the burger on the end and being really fancy like burger, but hum. And the reason I said bay is because when we're singing it, I know the song is Siya hamba, but if you notice there's an apostrophe which connects it to the next word, iku kanyen, but we're not gonna say all of that. So just listen. When we're singing it, it will be Siya be kukanen. So the next part, ku ka, kind of like cuckoo, a cuckoo clock, but instead of an oo at the end, it's a ka. So can you say kuka? All right, so pause. I'm gonna go back. Let me hear you say the first word, the first part, siya. Okay, just listen to me. Don't focus too much on that because you'll confuse yourself. I did it to myself, and I had to just listen to the music because I was like, I hope my neighbors heard me because they keep me up at all times of the night. And so I was playing flute at 5 o'clock this morning as loud as I could. So, see ya, very good. See what I'm saying? Bay. Very good. See what I'm saying? Y'all don't need me up here. You could have just sang it. Kuka. All right, and the next part is just nen. Very good. Quen, kind of like win, but with a K in front. So Quinn or Gwen with a K in front. Let's keep it simple. Coast. So let's take it back to the front. So si ya bay ku ka nen quen coast. Done. Done. That's it. So when we get to sing it, it's going to be, I'll talk it out first. Siya bay kuka nen quen coast. I'll do it again. Just listen. Don't sing yet. Let it get in your head. I don't consider myself a singer, so the thing I like about being up here is if you're feeling some kind of way, like embarrassed or like I'm not a singer. So I'm just able to, I know music, I can play it. I know rhythms don't change. So just get it in your mind. And it'll be, I was gonna say muscle memory, but it'll be vocal memory. Siya bay kuka nen quen coast. Ready to try it? Yes. I'll speak it out with you, and just that slowly, but it's gonna be faster when we sing it, and we'll speed it up before we get there. 1, 2, 3. Siya bay kuka nen quen coast. Very good. And then you just repeat it. Siya bay kuka nen quen coast. One more time, we're gonna do it twice. 1, 2, 3. Siya be kuka nen quen kos. Again. Siya hum be kuka nen quen kos. Done, done, and done. Bye. That's it. So it'll be Siya hum be kuka nen quen kos. 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 And then the English. We are marching in the light of God. 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 You want to try it with me? Beginning. We're going to do. That's good. I think they got it. Give yourselves a hand.
Let's give it up. Let's give it up.
Okay. Let's see here. It's always a delight when Nicole gets up here, isn't it? I mean, all right. A place of belonging and caring. It is not by chance that you arrived here today. You have been looking for something larger than yourself. Inside of you, there is a yearning, a calling, a hope for more, a desire for a place of belonging and caring. Through your struggles, someone nurtured you into being, instilling a belief in a shared purpose, a common yet precious resource that belongs to all of us when we share. And so, you began seeking a beloved community, a people that does not put fences around love, a community that holds its arms open to possibilities of love, a heart home to nourish your soul and share your gifts. Welcome home. Please rise and body your spirit for our next hymn. I'm gonna lift my sister up.
I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. If I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, I will fall down. I'm gonna lift my people up, they are not heavy. I'm gonna lift my people up, you are not heavy. I'm gonna lift my people up, you are not heavy. If I don't lift you up, if I don't lift you up, if I don't lift you up, I will fall down. I'm gonna lift my brother up, he is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my brother up, he is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my brother up, he is not heavy. If I don't lift him up, if I don't lift him up, if I don't lift him up, I will fall down. Last verse. I'm gonna lift my neighbor up, they are not heavy. I'm gonna lift my neighbor up, they are not heavy. I'm gonna lift my neighbor up, you are not heavy. If I don't lift them up, if I don't lift them up, if I don't lift them up, I will fall down.
It sounds like a few of y'all have come here today to lift some people up. I'm gonna lift more people up, for they are not heavy. We're gonna lift more people up, for they are not heavy. If we don't lift them up, if we don't lift them up, if we don't lift them up, we will fall down. Amen. The choir, y'all ready to keep singing? But I have a few more things to say. In a larger world, city, state, where too many want to exclude purely political purposes or even religious ones, we are here to lift more people up. Amen? What a difference a year makes. Welcoming the stranger is the title and theme for today's worship service. And y'all, we are welcoming 8 new members today as well. What a difference a year makes. 1 year ago, this coming Tuesday, I officially started my ministry here and had only moved to Baton Rouge a few short days before. I'm sure that I and my body had not known heat and humidity such as this. My closest connections to members of the church were with the search committee of Becky Curo, Leslie Taylor Grover, Leonora Heavey, Don Hopi, and Ed Benoit, who voted to bring me here along with our senior minister, the Reverend Nathan Ryan. The warmth and welcome of me by the staff, Allison Hall, our church administrator, Kathy Smith, who's away at a music conference today, our director of family ministries, Lee Hartman, our director of music, and Jen Hustis, our church bookkeeper, have and continue to welcome me in extraordinary ways. It has helped make my first year almost dreamy with the responsibilities under my care in engaging this position, which is no easy position, as your minister of congregational life. I had not lived in the Deep South for 4 decades, and Southern Louisiana was all brand new to me. The foods, again, the heat, the people, the cultural differences, being mere weeks from living in Midtown Manhattan during the pandemic in the heart of New York City, what a difference a year makes, amen? I could write and tell stories for hours about my time here so far, from being invited into your homes and hearts to well over half of the membership of this church, for which I am and will remain eternally grateful, to experiencing a deep submersion into Mardi Gras culture both here and in New Orleans, to spending many quality, fun, and provocative sacred theological hours with Reverend Nathan, the time with our pastoral care associates, the congregational care team leaders, and upwards of 37 people who volunteer to support the functions of this church. Can we give it up for the people? Too many hours spent with Donna Yulverton, the chair of our membership team, and the membership team itself, who crafted the first ever formal 3-year membership plan for this church to welcome and deepen a sustaining, nurturing pathway to membership for the long haul. Do y'all say for the long haul? We want new members for the long haul in this church. To many joy-filled chats and times with the social justice chairs of our church, and then our monthly social justice team meetings. I have spent time with our Black Joy Collective in our monthly meetings as well. We gather here in the church and in the community to continue to understand some of the particular realities of being Black and Unitarian Universalist and the realities of the city and times we find ourselves living in. Y'all, through the sacred work of organizing with Salvatore Collada, Julie Richard, and Canova Smith, we have started and continuing to grow what's called the Sixth Source Sharing Circle. It's our pagan community, and they've been meeting and bringing renters to the building, and then we're getting visitors who are coming and finding this a place where they feel comfortable, y'all, to worship. The pagans want to come and hang out with the Unitarian Universalists. Let's give it up. In community, I have attended many functions of Together Baton Rouge, the Interfaith Federation of Greater Baton Rouge. I had lunch for the second time with the executive director just this week, and attended other interfaith events. I participated in 5 of the city's interfaith initiatives to end the still growing HIV/AIDS epidemic here in Baton Rouge and across the Deep South. We have marched on the Capitol and to the governor's mansion, led by our transgender youth from across the state to end transphobia against our youth and their families, which we know too well may be too late before it's codified into law. We still got work to do, amen? And through my more personal ministry to help in homelessness, I, along with a church member, Carrie, are in the process of continuing to learn just how many services are provided to those experiencing homelessness in our community, and growing in the ever strategies to end the system that makes homelessness possible. Again, what a difference a year makes. And to all of you, I am grateful to each and all of you for helping to co-create authentic, meaningful worship each week together. Through Reverend Nathan's still unfolding vision for worship, through the support of the staff, our Treehouse group of volunteers, there are 5 and they come religiously. To our choir, can we give it up for the choir? They'll be here, in a few weeks' time. Our online volunteers who are running the chat and our social media, through the skills and support of our worship guild. All right, for the worship guild. It has been a year to remember and to continue to take stock of. It is also true, we had an installation on April 23rd. Anybody here for the installation on April 23rd? You missed it? Okay. To continue to anchor my connection with you all, I am, with great humility, still processing that day, what it meant and what it means to me and to us all as we move into what lies ahead. What a difference a year makes. I cannot tell you how the light comes in. What I know is that it's more ancient than imagining, that it travels across astounding expanse to reach us, that it loves searching out what is hidden, what is lost, what is forgotten, or in peril or in pain, that it has a fondness for the body, for finding its way towards flesh, for tracing the edges of form, for shining forth through the eye, the hand, and the heart. I cannot tell you how the light comes, but it does, that it will, that it works its way into the darkest, deepest dark that enfolds you. Though it may seem long ages in coming and arrives in a shape you did not foresee. Again, these words are from this morning's invocation by the Reverend Jan Richardson. A question I have been reflecting on throughout my year of being here is, where does the light, sparks of the divine, if you will, shine here in this church at the Unitarian Church of Baton Rouge? Of course, there are so many ways that the light or the divine has and does show up here. From the immediate, authentic, and growing welcome that one feels when you come into this church and in all of our many programs and activities throughout the year, to our involvement in religious education of our children and youth and their families, to the level of caring that exudes when celebrating the joys, hardships, losses members and friends of this church experience and are experiencing on a near daily basis, to how, when, and where this church shows up in community, Friends, the divine is here, amen? Yes. Can you see it? Yes. Can you taste it? Yes. Can you touch it? Yes. And is our work individually or collectively done yet? How can we nurture more light, the divine that is more love, into this sacred place and places that long for more love in our city and larger world as sustainably as we can? Every month, this congregation with intention and humility shares 1/2 of its offering for the month with the local organization that extends our mission and current vision into the community. This month, our offering will be shared with VOTE, Voice of the Experience. We, as some of you know and are participating in their efforts, are growing our relationship with VOTE as a church through our social justice team's commitments to the right to vote and to more fair election processes, not based on political parties, but on our values of equity and justice for all. VOTE on its webpage says, it is a grassroots organization founded and run by formerly incarcerated people, our families, and our allies. They build power through community organizing, policy advocacy, and civic engagement. They are dedicated to restoring the full human and civil rights of those most impacted by the criminal injustice system. Together, they have the experience, expertise, and power to improve public safety in Louisiana and beyond without relying on mass incarceration. Anybody here for that? As always, visitors, please feel no obligation to give. We at this church are building on our financial giving as a spiritual practice, extending our values into the community in yet other ways. This morning's offering will humbly be accepted and shared in the same spirit. Please, please give generously. Ushers, will you please come forward? Thank you.
Oh, please rise and embody your spirits as you're able. Wake now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being in all. Weave with a web of creation your vow. Giving, receiving as love shows us how. Wake now, compassion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering, feel the white sky. Take as your neighbor, both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end. audience here. Mingle my calling with all who will share. Work toward a planet transformed by our care.
Becoming a a member of a Unitarian Universalist church or a congregation, society, or fellowship, the many ways we are known in over 900 congregations and with hundreds of thousands of us throughout the country and around the world is no small undertaking. Amen? It takes courage, commitment, time, and a deep dedication to one's own spiritual or religious path, and the many ways we honor the sacred in all things and of our planet Earth. Here at the Unitarian Church of Baton Rouge, many of the members and volunteers that help to make this church function and even thrive give us so much of their time, talent, money, and sweat to help build this church into what it is and what it is becoming. Today, I wanted to uplift the membership team yet again in all of its efforts to pull into being this, our second new member welcome service of the year. Most notably, again, I would like to uplift the efforts of Donna Yulverton, the chair of our membership team, and all 11 or 12 of us, the membership team members, for their ongoing work. Donna, would you please come forward and join me on the chancel here? For our new member ritual, also I'll have membership team members of Dottie Kelly and Diana Darrow, and our board president, Jeff Gauger, who will be welcoming in new members. If you could take your positions for our ritual. Today, in welcoming new members into this church, I strongly remember the day I became a Unitarian Universalist in Madison, Wisconsin, 23 and a half years ago. To be welcomed into Unitarian Universalism, a similar ritual as to the one we're about to embark on, truly has transformed my life for the better. As important is my faith in what is possible together as we all continue to live out the values within this church in our personal, professional, and retired lives truly shows the world what being a Unitarian Universalist means. Amen? When you join this church, this is a direct quote from Reverend Nathan Ryan, you aren't joining for yourself. You aren't joining just as a part of your own spiritual journey. You are joining a part of something bigger, end quote. You are joining a long legacy of nearly 75 years of other Unitarians and Unitarian Universalists in this city that held fast to our liberal religious traditions in a city, state, and world that hunger for more justice, peace, and mercy for all. Our forebears and many of you have labored to create this church we now greatly benefit from. And we are called to grow this faith, not just in numbers, but in the depths of our faithful commitment to more of the beloved community. And more of the beloved community.
We have 5 expectations of membership at the Unitarian Church of Baton Rouge. These are different from requirements. The only requirement of membership is that one fills out a card declaring sympathy with the purpose of this church and then is welcomed by a majority of the board. The expectations are much broader. They are:
first, that you worship with us, that you are a part of our community of meaning-making and support.
Second, that you are generous. Nothing in this church exists without the generosity of our membership, be it financial or through talents.
Third is that you remain in covenant with us, This is a promise that you will not up and leave as soon as being together is difficult or your life becomes complicated. We expect that you will stay engaged, and if you are unable to, that you let us know so that we can be supportive of you.
4 is that you work to make the world a better place. This could be through advocacy, community organizing, like our work with Together Baton Rouge, or handing out meals with other church members when we sign up at the Holy Grail.
5th, that you will be open to transformation. This does not mean that we expect that you will be transformed by this church. We have no power over that. Rather, we expect that you are open to the ways this church and life will transform you, and know that you are not in it alone. Yes. In a minute, we will call the names of our newest members to be recognized. I will invite you to come forward, write your name in our collective sacred book, take a stone to place it in our box, symbolizing you are adding your gifts and talents, but also your presence to our congregation. You will then receive a hand of fellowship from our board president, Jeff Gauger, and on this end you will have Dottie Kelly, who will hand you a folder that contains a chalice pin from our membership team. Then, once all of you are up here, you will have the congregation do a recognition and blessing. New members, please start coming forward as soon as we begin reading names. We also honor that some of our new members are not able to make it today and will be recognized at a later date, or not able to attend both services. The names: Scott Murray,
Bobby Parry,
Allison Ockman,
Tristan Randall,
Denise Crow,
Emma Peniguay,
Jacqueline Coutet.
Andrew Mesh.
Again, if any of you are with us, I hope at least one. Do we have one? Well, we will go through the ritual preparing for 600 people. Or, as again, they will be coming forward in the future services. We thought at least 1 or 2 will be, and maybe they'll be coming to the next service. Let's just ease through what might have happened. I would have invited you all to please rise in body or spirit. Let's just do it as though we're welcoming those who are coming. Share the blessing. Will you welcome these new members and recommit yourselves to more inclusive community? If you agree, please say, "We will." We will.
Will you welcome their new theologies and visions of inclusion, justice, and peace?
When the new members are, you will say, "We will." New members, when they arrive, will you commit yourselves to sustaining this religious community, as well as sharing your love, forgiveness, and understanding of this world?
We will. To this newly gathered congregation, which now includes our newest members, will all of you commit yourselves to building beloved community, drawing a circle so wide that no one is outside of love and justice, and making the world more beautiful from your presence in it? If so, please say, "We will."
We will.
Let's give them and ourselves a warm round of applause for continued welcome and hope.
The love of each of us, for some of us, for all of us, and what would it become if it were welcome, if learning were to prepare a self with which to welcome the inadmissible stranger whose very being gives evidence of discrepancy. School of our just beginning to think about this, I believe the seats will be peopled. Hebrews 13, chapters 1 through 3. Keep on loving one another as brothers and sisters. Do not forget to show hospitality to strangers, for by so doing, some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it. Continue to remember those in prison as if you were together with them in prison, and those who are mistreated as if you yourselves were suffering.
As we start to round the corner of this sermon and service, I want to put forth some faithful, I pray, holy questions to myself and to each of you. As many of us know, this church is known for showing up for justice making in the community. Amen? Even more interestingly, noteworthy, curiously, that has sat with me, a curiosity that has sat with me most of the year is, when asked by most anyone in the city, where is your church? What is almost the collective response when you say that church on Goodwood? With the big glass circle window, right? Or when you tell them that you are the church with a big round circle glass window, that's a collective response. My deep and burning curiosity is, what is their next question beyond the amazing big circular glass window? So, what did you say? What y'all, oh, you've been reading my sermon. Do people inquire about what we believe in? More to the point, do they wonder if we have a or some theologies? What is our communal, if there is one, understanding of what we as Unitarian Universalists believe theologically, spiritually, or communally? Is it enough to say, which is not true, we get to believe whatever we want? That is not the case, right? We have a lot of hard soul work to do to develop and dig into our own personal theologies. How might we continue to welcome the stranger as noted in Hebrews chapter 13, verses 1 through 3? Again, keep on loving one another as brothers and sisters, and I add, for more inclusivity, all people. Do not forget to show hospitality to the strangers, for by doing so, some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it. 3, continue to remember those in prison as if you were together with them in prison, and those who are mistreated as if you yourself were suffering. Friends, as shared, the divine is so very present in the many ways we show up for each other at this church and in the community. There is a deep, authentic commitment to and for each other. And how might we dig even more deeply into our personal and collective theologies through our forthcoming adult faith formation offerings for the coming year with each other, yes, with each other, sharing our theological musings as there is enough trust, say trust, to move mountains. Again, the words of Christina Davis, to love each of us, for some of us, for all of us, and what would come if we were welcome, if learning were to prepare a self with which to welcome the inadmissible stranger, whose very being gives evidence of a discrepancy. School of our just beginning to think about this, I believe the seats will be peopled. Did y'all get that? The seats will be peopled. May we, the long-term members of this church, new members, friends, and visitors of this sacred growing church, continue to march in the light of all that is divine. May it be so. Ashe, blessed be, salam, shalom, and amen. Please rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, Siyahamba.
Oh, so y'all thought there was gonna be music? Oh, you are the music. We are the music, I should say. You could at least gave me some drums, but I'll deal with you later. Siya hamba kukanin kwenkos. Siya hamba kukanin kwenkos. Siya hamba kukanin kwenkos. Siya hamba kukanin kwenkos. We are marching. We are mamba. Siya mamba uncle kwenkos. Now I'm confused. Siya hamba. Siya hamba. Siya hamba kukanin kwenkos. We are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching. We are marching. We are marching. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching. We are marching. We are marching in the light of God. We are singing in the light of God. We are singing in the light of God. Y'all sound good. We are singing in the light of God. We are singing in the light of God. What we doing? We are singing. We are singing. We are singing in the light of God. We are singing. We are singing. We are singing in the light of God. Whoa, y'all did good.
Dear friends, may we continue to be the light in this sometimes dim, dismal world, knowing that we are enough and are showing up in presence when dark days are dark, knowing that you can come here and be held in beloved community. Go forth this week, honoring the true light within, sharing your light in all of its beauty. Until we meet again, blessed be, shalom, and amen.
Amen.